the video that you guys are about to watch today on this YouTube channel is a repeated video, which means I have already posted this video maybe a month ago on this YouTube channel. And a lot of you have commented down below that there was an issue with the sound quality of the video. I really apologize for that. That was, some technical difficulty on my part. My editing software was not working as it should be at that time. But rest assured that I have re-edited the video, and now the sound quality it's perfectly fine. But still, if you guys have any issues hearing the sound, please let me know down below in the comment. And then we will try to fix it. Other reason why I'm posting this video is because a lot of people commented on that video, and those comments were I would say lukewarm. Not really nice comments. A lot of people said, like, because we have tried to brought up a lot of things in Canada that we think they are not really good. Just like any other country in the world, every country has its pros and cons. So we have shed some light on some of the things that are not really good about Canada. So a lot of people commented down on the video that you guys should not be living here if you don't like it. Why don't you guys leave? Take your friends with you, and some kind of these comments. But I just want to tell you guys, like, you guys should have at least, some guts, some will to accept the truth, because none of the comments that I'm seeing, people are disagreeing with us. That means the things that we are saying in this video, which you are about to see, they are true. They are absolutely the things that we are experiencing. We are just sharing our experience here in Canada. And just like any other country in the world, every country has its goods and bad. And in this video, we just brought up some of the bads. There's no big deal. And being the immigrants, first generation immigrants in Canada, there are a lot of stuff that we thought that they are not so good, like, healthcare system, the cost of living, not just for the immigrants, even the Canadians are suffering with it, there are a lot of things that are going right now. It's a chaos. And a lot of people are suffering. There is, the homelessness has risen a lot, especially, during the past year after COVID. It's really a big issue. The housing crisis is, it's writing on the wall. We don't have to talk much about it. It is what it is. And numbers don't lie. You can see a lot of immigrants are leaving Canada. And the reason why we are trying to bring up these issues is so that, our viewers can have, can make a sound decision and think twice before moving to Canada. And what are the things that you can do to offset these cons? Like bringing good resume, for example, bring something that you can add to the society so that you can live here comfortably. But if you have, wrong expectation that as soon as you will land in Canada, you will, be wealthy all of the sudden, or you will, have a really good life. It's not like that. There is struggle. There is struggle in Canada. So these are the stuff that we try to put in this video. And good thing is nobody disagreed with us. There was a lot of truth in this video. So please try to have show some willingness to accept the truth, and let us know what are the things that are not factual in this video, that are not facts, that are not truth, so that we can maybe change our school of thought. Maybe we can change our course of action, or the way we are creating these videos, we should change it. So any comment is welcome. especially the juicy ones, the ones that, say, leave this country and go back to your country, and why did you come to Canada at first place and whatnot. So please keep them coming. Obviously, they are good for a YouTube algorithm, and it's gonna obviously help us boost the channel. So please keep them coming, but at the same time, please make a valid argument of why do you think that we should not be saying what we are saying in this video. So again, this is a repost. I'm reposting this video. Watch this video all the way until the end, and let us know what are your thoughts. Thank you.
People move to Canada to practice what they believe in, to freely do what they want, and obviously with respect to everybody's freedom around them. But it doesn't seem like that anymore. Islamophobia has really risen a lot here in Canada lately. Great healthcare system, great schooling system. Kids are so loved in Canada, like you feel safe. All kind of religions are welcome, all kind of ethnicity. It's not anymore. It's not anymore like that. We don't feel that anymore.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for tuning into our channel. Thank you for coming to Canada and beyond. If you are new to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because by subscribing to this channel, you are going to get tons and tons of information regarding Canada. We also share on this channel a lot of videos of our vlog, just to give you an on-hand experience of how it likes to be living in Canada as a couple. So with that being said, let's jump into today's video. Today's video is a little bit different. In this channel, we have never talked about Canada from a different perspective, from different angle. We have always said to our audience that come to Canada, Canada is great. In Canada, there are absolutely amazing people. We have always said that Canada's economy is really good, but we never talk about the other aspect, which is why Canada will not be suitable for some people. Just like any other country, Canada also has its pros and cons. And today we are going to discover in this video what are the things that are not so good about Canada. So let's dive into it. So just like I mentioned that there are a lot of pros and cons to any country in the world. In fact, the country that I belong to, Pakistan, there are a lot of goods and there are a lot of bads in Pakistan as well, and Canada is no exception. We have spent time in both United States and in Canada. During the course of these 8 or 9 years, we have encountered many good and bad, but on this channel we have always talked about how better Canada is, how it can be a great place for especially immigrants who are coming from abroad and trying to settle in the new society, new communities. Canada is always a welcoming place. People of Canada absolutely amazing. They are very friendly and they are world famous of being so polite. They are always very polite and friendly. So in the light of that, immigrants are always very happy to come to Canada because it is so much easy to integrate in the society. And that is the reason why a lot of people are choosing Canada, especially after COVID. A lot of countries' economies are hit very badly. A lot of people are finding new destinations and Canada is on the top list of it. And we have also helped a lot of people who come to Canada, help them integrate into the society. We have been living in St. John, New Brunswick, and thinking about St. John, New Brunswick, somewhere on the east coast of Canada. It's a very small town, but we have seen massive immigration over there. And the reason being is New Brunswick was providing a lot of permanent residency during COVID time and even after COVID. Yet there are still a lot of different programs that province of New Brunswick is offering for new immigrants, and there are a lot of different routes that you can acquire Canadian PR, which makes New Brunswick a very suitable destination for a lot of immigrants who are coming outside of Canada and settling in New Brunswick just to have an easy path for their permanent residency and then the citizenship eventually. And we have always talked on this channel that you should come to Canada, you should definitely explore it, you should definitely have Canada as your first number one priority when you are leaving your own home country and going to the foreign land. Because here system provides a really good security for you and your family. And on top of that, Canadian people are very famous for their hospitality, politeness, and friendship, which makes Canada a great destination for immigrants. However, we also need to mention a lot of things that are not so good about Canada. Lately, Jihan and I have been thinking that there's a lot of good content about Canada, in which a lot of people are asking all the immigrants that if they want to come to Canada, Canada can be a good place, but nobody is really talking about the other perspective, which is a lot of cons about Canada. It can include the healthcare system, which is really bad right now. It can include the housing crisis. A lot of immigrants who are coming here going through some extensive search in order to find the accommodation. Even though they are bringing a lot of money with them, they are still not able to find accommodation, a proper accommodation. Especially if somebody is coming with, let's say, a family of 4 who needs at least 3 to 4 bedroom apartment or 3 to 4 bedroom house. It is almost impossible to find such kind of accommodation, even though with the good money. And because of the reason that the demand is too high, there are a lot of people are coming here and there aren't much houses available here. And on top of that, a lot of immigrants are struggling with the job finding as well. I have seen very credible people, especially people who are coming from South Asia like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. They are coming with some great resumes, but unfortunately they are having really difficult time finding a proper or suitable job, and those people end up working in a small coffee shop or other odd jobs like gas station, restaurants, fast food chains, etc. And it really makes me feel pain when I think of those immigrants that they are having, some of them having master degrees from their back home, but when they come here, they are struggling to find a proper job which is suitable to their field of study. And all of these issues exist, yet no one online is talking about them. So we thought we should talk about all these issues. Though Canada is still a great place, we are not discouraging you to change your course of action, especially if you are someone potentially want to come to Canada. We do not want you to think that Canada is not the place, but these are the things that we should bring up, because if you are coming with a lot of expectations about Canada, and once you are here and you find out all of these issues and you will see it and experience it, you are gonna get hurt really badly. So make sure to set your expectation up. And this is the motive of this video today, that we are going to be talking about all these issues. So let's jump into these bullet points that we are going to be mentioning, and we'll give you information about them that maybe Canada is not so good for you after all. So let's start with the first one, which I've already talked about a little bit, which is housing affordability in Canada. So housing affordability is a significant issue in Canada, particularly in the major cities such as Toronto and Vancouver. And you can put Calgary, Alberta is also in that list. Housing prices have been on the rise for many years, making it very challenging for individuals and families, especially young adults. I think there was a survey on this particular topic. 75% of young millennials have already gave up their dream of owning a house ever in Canada, which is really bad news. This is not only the outright purchase of the house, it also goes for the rent as well. Since the cost of owning a house has gone up a lot, in order to service the debt, in order to service the mortgage, the cost of borrowing the money has gone up a lot. It also has the ripple effect on the rents of the property as well. So a lot of people who are renting their apartments, renting their condos, they have also checked up the prices. So there are many people who are not even able to afford the rent in some of these bigger cities. which makes it extremely difficult for a lot of people to own or rent the house. High demand and limited supply contribute to the skyrocketing housing prices as well. Many people are spending a large portion of their income on the housing, leaving very little for other essentials like groceries, paying other bills, utilities, or in fact going out and buy clothes. The gap between income and housing is widening with the large proportion, leading to a housing insecurity and homelessness for a lot of people. And we living in Ottawa, we usually drive through the downtown area in Ottawa, which is, all this big legislation and housing policies are made. Ottawa is obviously a capital city of Canada. And in the downtown area, there are some streets that you wouldn't even want to go over there because there are a lot of people who are without homes. They are staying in the homeless shelters, and there are huge lines in front of the food banks as well. And people are having really difficult times to bring food on the table. A lot of people are just standing on the signals and asking people money who are passing through them. Now, Canada is a first world country. One wouldn't think that this would be possible here in Canada, but this is very, very true. A lot of people are struggling with homelessness issue and struggling with putting food on their table. And I'm talking about Ottawa, the capital city of Canada. So make sure to keep this in mind. Now, speaking of politicians and legislators, policy measures such as increasing the house supply, giving more permits to build more houses, particularly affordable and rental housing, and regulating housing market may help address this issue. So if we have those kind of policies that help at least the first time home buyers, we are going to have a good solution of these housing problem. Unfortunately, there are a lot of builders who want to build new houses and condos, but they are not getting approvals from municipalities and the cities, which is also contributing to the rising housing prices. It is very difficult to get the building permits from the cities such as Toronto, Kingston, and Ottawa. These are the major cities of Ontario. And if you see the population around these cities, they are mostly congested on the small space. And if you look at the map of the Canada, most of the land in Canada is just empty. It's just raw jungle. But it is very unfortunate that cities and municipalities are not giving permits to build more houses so that we can fight these housing crises and challenges. Now, the second challenge living in Canada is the healthcare challenge. Now, healthcare has been a disaster in Canada. If you are going to an ER just because you are feeling temperature, you might gonna need to wait at least 12 hours. It is reported that the average wait time in Ontario to be admitted to the hospital from emergency department was 21.9 hours. So almost 30 hours in December of last year, 2023. Now, I get that there are anomalies of COVID because last year was not same as this year. There was a lot of COVID patients as well, but now the COVID is done, and yet we are still seeing almost same amount of time in the ER, which is really unfortunate. We personally, Jihan and I had few times went to the ER in St. John, New Brunswick, and we have never got our turn before waiting at least 5 hours. So they have triage system. Once the patient comes, they check the patient, nurse will do the temperature and determine that how long they can wait on the ER room. If the issue is serious, they may gonna place them first in the line. But if the issue is not really serious, good luck. You are going to wait for at least 5 to 8 hours in the ER. Now, Canada's healthcare system, known for its universal coverage, faces several challenges. So though Canada's healthcare system is free, that means you are not going to pay any penny out of your pocket, no matter how serious is your illness. But I do not think that justifies 8-hour long time in the ER, because we have spent our time in United States as well, where there is no free healthcare system. But if you are working with a good employer and you already have a good insurance through your employer, you can pay for that healthcare system. You still are not going to be paying any penny out of your pocket, because it will be covered by your insurance company from your employer. But in Canada, it's completely different. You are not going to pay any money from your pocket, but yet you are going to experience a lot of wait time, especially if you are in the ER. While Canadians have access to the healthcare, issues such as long wait time and disparities in access still persist. In Canada, patients may face long waiting time for specialist appointments, surgeries, and other medical services. Access to the healthcare is uneven, with rural and remote areas experiencing a short of medical professionals and facilities as well. Mental health service also face significant challenges in terms of availability and funding. Now this goes also back to the making good policies for healthcare sector. There's also service like Maple, which is only available in Ontario. That means living in Ontario or being a resident of Ontario, you get a free app. You can download that app and then you can talk to live nurse on that. Though this is just a virtual experience, the doctor will not be able to do the thorough checkup, but you can let them know if you are going through some illness and it can be resolved with just the medication. You can get your prescription online through that app. But if there is something serious going on, the nurse will immediately refer you to the ER. Then at that time, that app is completely useless. I also want to share some of the personal experience. So when we moved to St. John, New Brunswick, Canada, we have been on the waiting list for the family doctor for almost 2 years. After 2 years, I receive a call that, okay, now your turn has come. You can go and talk to the doctor. Doctor was still declining the patients. Now there were few doctors available just with the reference. So if you know someone whose doctor is taking patient, you can let them know that you don't have any family doctor and they can refer you to their doctor. But because the healthcare system is so much overloaded and overwhelmed, even the reference doctors are not taking the patients anymore in many cities. And we have heard many stories like that. While we were waiting for 2.5 years for the family doctor, we finally got the doctor after 2.5 years. And the third year, we had to leave St. John and come to Ottawa. Now we are again on the list of family doctor, and this time it's in Ontario, where we have more population, more burden on the healthcare system. So I think we are looking at least 4 years to get the family doctor. Now the third crisis is immigration struggles. Canada is known for its welcoming approach to immigration, but there are challenges related to integrating newcomers into Canadian societies. Immigrants and refugees may face barrier in finding employment, housing, and accessing education and healthcare. Language barrier and cultural differences can also hinder integration. Additionally, the COVID-19 pandemic has caused disruptions to immigration process. Providing support and resources for language learning, job training, and community integration can help newcomers settle into Canada. Collaboration with communities such as Newcomer Center, YMCA Newcomer Centers, Career Builders, and other city organizations and local governments can improve outcomes. So if you are someone coming new to Canada, make sure to search in your area whether you have a newcomer center, you have career builder centers, people who can help you write your resume, or you can reach out to your local MP's office, the governmental bodies who can help you integrate better into the society. I have already mentioned this in the beginning of the video too, that immigrants are really struggling. We having a YouTube channel, there were a lot of people reach out to us that they are struggling with the housing. They cannot find any accommodation, even though they are ready to pay more than the asking price for the rent, but still landlord is so reluctant to give them the apartment for rent because they are asking at least 3 references. Now you tell me, if there are someone who just moved to this country, where they can find 3 references to back them up. This is really crazy situation. So if you are someone who is thinking to move to Canada, make sure to arrange your accommodation before arriving here, because once you arrive here, there may not be any accommodation that you can get right away. Now the next crisis is a very important crisis that we want to talk about, and I think I'm gonna bring Jihan to talk about that. So Jihan, Over to you.
We also wanted to talk to you about religion in Canada. Obviously, Canada is so diverse. There's so many ethnicities, so many religions happen, like people are practicing so many religions here in Canada. But I can only talk from a Muslim perspective about this matter. Lately, I have seen a lot of harassment for Muslims. A lot of strange things have been going on. You know, we previously just finished Ramadan, and our imam, like the leader of the prayer, will literally every day will say, please be careful, we have gotten another security threat. Even though they have a special security company are, you know, keeping the place safe during the prayer time and everything, but they've been getting a lot of threats. And I think this is mainly raised after what's happening between Palestine and Israel, all this genocide that is happening, all this, you know, just hideous war that it's happening. It's absolutely sad of what's happening, and it just like make it even worse with what's going on in the media. People are not, you know, they don't understand what's the truth anymore. And we've seen like a lot of protests. People have been protesting since October. For every weekend they go to the city, like the downtown where the Parliament Hill and all that, and they're protesting. And you know, police are there sometimes to, you know, protect them and secure the protest. But then you see all these bylaws who are just coming and literally giving tickets to the people who are protesting. Now, Canada is like, as a Canadian, we have the right for, you know, the right of freedom of speech and, you know, explaining ourselves and showing and fighting for what we believe in. And trust me, in these protests, it's not just Muslim. There's at least like 70% are actually Canadian and different religion, different ethnicity. It's not just Muslims, because, you know, what's happening with Gaza and Israel, it's not any more religion related. It's really humanitarian act. We've even seen a lot of Jews actually joining the rally, so go figure, right? Yeah, like we've seen a lot of Jews actually joining the rally every Sunday to, you know, and calling and you know, protesting to stop this fire and all that. But what in all this matter, it's just sad to see the Canadian bylaws and Canadian police are literally fighting everyone, trying to hush everyone, trying to make everyone stop. And it's just so sad, like where Canada is going to after this, you know, like people move to Canada to practice what they believe in, to freely do what they want, and obviously with respect to everybody's freedom around them. But it doesn't seem like that anymore. For me, the government should really think of this often, because, you know, these type of protests, for example, are happening since October 11th every week since then. So to me, instead of, you know, giving tickets and just trying to stop and harass everybody, maybe take a look at what's going on and see why there's thousands of people coming out every single week throughout rain and snow and all kind of weathers, you know, Jewish, Sikh community, Muslims community, every single community in Ottawa are going out. Maybe the government need to see what's going on. Maybe they need to either just try to find a common ground, because this is really impacting a lot of, not just, you know, people are walking and stopping traffic and you know, rallying. It's impacting a lot of things, and this just really not, you know, affecting Muslims anymore. It's affecting a lot of communities. You know, Islamophobia has really risen a lot here in Canada lately. You know, people are just, you know, not Muslims are just, you know, listening to all of these things and having their mind really full with bull. And then, you know, what starts after that? Attacking, harassment, killing, just violent all over. Is this where Canada want to be in few years from now? Just like a place where nobody want to live because nobody's feeling safe anymore? This is really not the Canada that Osman and I we've been dreaming literally to move here. Even when we were in US, you know, the greatest country of all time, we were still dreaming of when we will be able to go go and live in Canada because I've heard all of these things. Great healthcare system, great schooling system, kids are so loved in Canada, you know, like you feel safe, all kind of religions are welcome, all kind of ethnicity. It's not anymore. It's not anymore like that. We don't feel that anymore. In the past 7 years since we moved to US and then made our way to Canada, this country has completely changed. And I'll tell you something, I'm literally suffering from a back injury right now. I have been in agony for like a week, and my mother would call me and I'll be crying and I'm in pain, and she would tell me like, why you're not going to the ER, why you're not going to see a doctor. Well, guess what? I've been here for 4 years and I don't have a family doctor. You go to a walk-in clinic, you literally gonna get sick even more. And imagine with the back pain and issues that I'm having right now, going and sitting in the ER for 5 to 6 hours, I'm gonna be more dead by then. Like, this is what Canada is. People are literally using herbal medicine and going to the Chinese herbalist and doing like the basic, like all-time medicine, because going to the ER is just gonna make you more sick. People don't wanna use this type of healthcare system. I mean, I understand it's for free, I understand but it's not accessible. Do we really want to deal with this? You know, Osman and I in this channel for a couple of years now, we've been talking all good about Canada and asking you to guys come and this is gonna be the greatest experience. Honestly, we don't think that anymore. We don't. And we just made this video to show you everything we've been gone through, and you know, how Canada became really like going downhill the past 2 years and it's even more increasing day by day. So I really hope this video will be like that wake-up call for you, and maybe you still want to move to Canada but at least have the right expectation. Just today I was driving by and gas price has risen incredibly since 2 days just because there's a new carbon tax. Like, come on, are we not paying enough taxes that there is more taxes coming towards us? Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope it benefit you somehow. If you liked it, please make sure to comment down below, like the video and share it, and tell us what do you think. Thank you so much.